Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Niche Searching. We're looking to find UK-based influencers for Charlotte Tilbury. Charlotte Tilbury being a luxury skincare and beauty/makeup brand. My immediate idea is to start looking at Instagram influencers only. Instagram is a great platform for performance-focused campaigns. You can link away from Instagram to your website via stories, via link in bios, those kind of things. So it's really key that we're trying to find an audience that is majority in the UK, because this is ultimately where we want to drive sales. So I want to be hyper focused on creators who have a majority audience in the UK. So I can go in here really easily, select audience location as UK. I'm going to up the percentage to 30% for now. I can look to increase that later. Gender-wise, I'm going to say female. I'm going to go over 70% of that. Age will go in for 25 to 34. With it being a luxury brand, we want to try and target a slightly older demographic than your maybe Gen Z focus that a lot of brands are looking into at the moment. So we're going to try and target that 25 to 34 range. I think over 30% of an influencer's audience being within that range is a good starting point. So before I click show influencers, because we're still at over 25,000, which is a huge amount, I probably want my influencer to be female. At this point, I'm also going to look at a follower range. So from experience, having a follower range between 50k and 250k is quite a nice sweet spot. So I'm going to put that in as a good range. You just tend to find strong engagement rate within this range, and they also have real strong influence over their community. I can click show influencers here. I'm at over 1,000 influencers, so 2,837. So still a heck of a lot. I haven't even looked really to filter this down by looking at any engagement or engagement rate KPIs yet. I'm not going to start delving into profiles yet. I think 2,830 profiles will take me a long time to go through. So I can start to layer in some more filters here. I'm quite keen at looking at an above average engagement rate. I think this is a really good barometer for strong performance, and that they have really engaging content which can help sell and promote your product to their audience and hopefully drive high conversions. So I also want the influencer to be hyper focused on beauty in general. I'm going to keep it really simple and just put beauty as a keyword from bio. You can see now I've taken it from 2,837 profiles to 39 profiles. I'm pretty confident that all of these people have mentioned beauty in their bio. They all have really strong engagement rates. The audience is predominantly UK, and within that demographic target that I'm after, I can start to sift through these profiles to see if the content is in line with what we're after. Katy Peak is my first profile. You can see here she has just shy of 250k followers, 3.3% engagement rate, quite a high proportion of fake followers. I'm not really that worried about that. At this point, this might reflect how I go and negotiate with her in terms of how much I'm willing to pay. Average likes and average reel plays is huge, like over 386k average reel plays is really impressive. For me, that's a really strong indicator that the algorithm is really liking her content. Location by country is exactly what we're after. 35% of people are based in the UK, so targeting my main demographic. 12% being in London as well. London's obviously a very affluent area, so I can start making assumptions that maybe her audience are going to be more interested in buying a higher price point like Charlotte Tilbury item. The age and gender split also reflects that. I can now go into her content overview, and so clearly she's very maybe style focused, with some of her top posts being around that. I can have a look at her sponsored content, and what's really great to see here is potentially we have some beauty brands within sponsored content. So you can see here she's already worked with Elizabeth Arden, which is a competitor to Charlotte Tilbury. I think that's actually quite a good thing that your competitors are working with an influencer. Shows that they've also maybe done their research and found that they'd be a great fit for their brand. Everything that I'm seeing from Katy Peak is a massive green flag, and I'm going to save her to my Charlotte Tilbury influencers link there. So I can very quickly go through and look really speedily at other creators that kind of fit into this. Again, really strong engagement, really strong reel plays. Reachability is even better, and her content maybe quite style focused, but obviously there's big crossover between fashion / lifestyle content and beauty content. I'm going to add her to the list as well. As I mentioned, I really like Katy Peak as a creator. I think she could be a great fit. I can go into view full report on this tab here. This gives me a more detailed breakdown of all of her content and all of her data. I can keep scrolling down. One thing that I can look at here, even further down, outside of notable likers, is lookalikes. I can immediately go through and click on a few of these and bring up their profiles on Instagram. These are all really strong potential accounts that I would look to try and build into my tool. If I scroll down in this piece outside of that PDF, like, you can really easily add them to your list. So I'm going to add Fabiana, I'm going to add Shannon Grace Ella, and Style by Julia. I'm going to try and find the final two, but at this point I'm going to focus on just two more micro creators. I'm actually going to sort by engagement rate here instead of followers. This is a good way to see people whose content is like really popping off at the moment, and Emma Jane is one of them with 125% engagement rate. This is a great indicator that her reels are being picked up really strongly. As a brand, this has really piqued my interest. Again, this content's got 57k likes and 705k views. Just further kind of confirms that the algorithm is really favouring her content and picking it up and pushing it. They're my 10 creators. I can head to the relationships tool and double check them all. I'm pretty confident with this mix that I've kind of found 10 creators that tick a lot of boxes. We're starting with the smallest at 25k followers, all the way up to Katy Peak at nearly 250k followers. I made my life very easy by finding creators that have a similar audience and similar interests to Katy Peak, because I identified her as a really strong candidate, and found 4 influencers right off the back of that. I then went smaller and started to find more micro creators around the 25k mark, but that had an amazing engagement rate. So I found 10 creators there that I think I'm really confident would perform well for Charlotte Tilbury, that tick all the boxes, really focus on the UK market as well, and can create some amazing high performing content. That's my approach. Thank you very much. We'll be doing more of these and looking forward to showing you some others next time.